What's up, everybody? Destin here. We're still at PAX South, Vince.
We sure are.
And we saw Gigantic, I know, because I read it off the billboard. No, I'm just
That's
kidding.
the name of the game we're talking about.
Game looks awesome.
It does look
tell us
super
about
awesome.
it.
So I played a couple of matches of it. So the first thing that's awesome about this is that it's so hard to describe. Like, people say it's a MOBA-like, or that it's a MOBA with action elements, or there's no genre I think that accurately describes it. Basically, it's class-based multiplayer, 5-on-5. But take anything you've ever thought about MOBAs and just throw it up right out the window. It's more streamlined, and it gets you more directly into the action. One of the things I really love is that every character, there's no shop, so you're not messing with the minutia of buying different items and planning item builds. But what you do have is that every time you level up, you get a skill point, and then there's skill trees that branch off of each of your active skills. Something I like is that you start with all of your skills.
Yeah.
So you don't have to wait until you're like level 5 or level 6. Before you can start using all your abilities. You can use them all right from the start.
Right.
And I like that. So, the opening game is less, boring and slow. But what's really cool is that depending on how you branch off with each of those individual skills, your character could play totally differently. Like, I played kind of a Fox character that was a support. The first game, I really spec'd him out so that he was strong in healing. So he puts down this pool. It's like a healing spring that heals allies around him and also allows him to super jump into the air.
Okay.
So I increased the healing on that. And then also he has a decoy ability that if you power it up, you can either kind of spec it more for offense, or you can spec it so that when you put down the decoy, it'll put down its own healing spring. So you can put down your own healing spring, summon your decoy, he summons a healing spring. Now you're healing your whole team for tons and tons and tons of, you're mitigating so much damage at that point. But then the next game after that, I was like, I'm going to go a little more offensive. And, so he can summon a poison cloud. And if he stands in the poison cloud, all his arrow attacks will be poisoned and they'll do damage over time, which is really cool. But your allies can make use of that poison cloud as well, but so can your decoy. So what I would do is I'd take a big, I get up on a rock that was overlooking a big wide area. I'd throw down my decoy and throw down a poison cloud, and then I'd just get out of there, and my decoy would just stand there, just lacing into people with poison attacks, and they'd all be concentrating on him, and then I'd flank them around the corner and snipe them from the side. Yeah. So it got really, I was able to get really offensive with that build. Same character, but they felt like two completely different characters on the two different games I played.
So that's a lot about the characters. How do you actually win the game? Because there's the two gigantic monsters.
Yes.
And something happens with them, right?
Right. So basically, as you get kills, you build up power for your guardian. And once you reach full power on that, your guardian will, with that power, charge forward and strike the opponent's guardian. When your guardian does that, it will leave that the other guardian vulnerable for a while, and you can hit its weak point for huge damage.
Yeah.
Now, you can hit the weak spot and shave off up to a third of its life. And so basically, the idea is you have to get enough kills to enough times to keep having your guardian attack theirs, so it can become vulnerable and you can take it down. But a lot of crazy things can happen. Like, just because you took down your guardian charges forward doesn't mean you're guaranteed damage. If you power up your guardian and he knocks down the other guardian, the other team can just stand there and defend it. So it kind of becomes an objective point that focuses the combat. And that's what is really great about the entire game, is that the way the maps are designed, they're not lanes per se, but there's spawning points where you can summon different minions, and you have to control those points in order to summon those minions. I know it's a lot to kind of process.
Oh, yeah.
But the point is there's objectives all around the map that kind of direct the action outside of just killing one another. So it's not laning based like other MOBAs are, but it's also not a straight deathmatch. It gives you objectives to play, and those objectives are kind of constantly shifting depending on how you do and what your opponents do.
Yeah. Gigantic's a ways off, right?
Yeah, it's still plenty ways off. They're going to be starting the alpha. They're going to be sending out alpha invites relatively soon.
Soonish, eventually.
Yeah, soonish.
I think that's what their official quote.
Yeah. You heard it here, folks, first. IGN.com. So yeah, alpha's going to be starting soon, but I'm super psyched to play more of the game. All the characters look really unique with divergent play styles. And please, people at home, do not let the word MOBA scare you off. Yeah. It is not really strictly a MOBA. It definitely is inspired in some ways by it, but please, if you like multiplayer-based, team-based, class-based games, you're definitely going to find something to like here.
MOBA scare me a little bit, but this looks like I can handle it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for Gigantic also. Thanks for joining me, Vince.
Oh, no problem.
And for more on Gigantic, you are already in the right place. IGN.